Well, hello everybody and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to make some Italian walnut cookies or biscuits. I think they're known as Dolci di Noci. And they're very easy to make with very few ingredients. Now the reason I'm making these is simply that I bought far too many walnuts in the run up to Christmas, and I need to get them used fairly quickly really. So there'll be a couple of walnut recipes coming your way in the near future, and this is the first of them. So a very easy recipe, and we start off by preheating the oven to 180 degrees Celsius, 160 Celsius with a fan, 350 Fahrenheit, and line a couple of baking trays with parchment paper or silicone mats. With that done, I'll go on to the ingredients. And as I said, this has very few ingredients. We have 300 grams, which is about 3 cups of walnuts. It depends on whether you're using walnut halves or chopped walnuts or whatever, but 300 grams, which is 10.5 ounces. I have 150 grams, 3/4 of a cup of caster sugar. You could use granulated sugar if you wanted to. I have 2 medium egg whites, which weigh, in my case, about 67 grams. And that would be large egg whites in the USA. You may not need all of that mixture, that egg white. And then I have 30 grams, which is 1/4 of a cup of icing sugar, which I have sifted. And I have here 20 walnut halves. I think I need 18, but I've put 20 in there. They're to go on top, basically. So that's all the ingredients we need. But the first thing we have to do is to process these walnuts here, the 300 grams, until they're quite fine. You don't want to process them too much, because if you do, they'll start to turn to butter. And one tip that you can do when processing the walnuts is put a little bit of your sugar in with the walnuts. It will help to prevent them from processing too far down into a paste. But I'm going to start off just with the walnuts and process those. Now, of course, you could chop them very finely if you've got the patience and you don't have a means of processing them. But I'm going to use the processor bowl of my immersion blender, and I will just pulse them and see how we go. So I've pulsed those about 20 times, and that's quite good. So I'm going to put those back into the bowl. And then I'm just going to shake the bowl and give it a tap, because I want to see if any large pieces come to the surface that need processing a bit more, and they don't. So that's good like that. I just set those to one side for a moment, and then I'm going to take my egg white and I'm just going to whisk that and get it nice and frothy like that. And then I'm going to take a larger bowl and put the walnuts in and the sugar, and I'm going to stir those around just to get those mixed together. And then I'm going to pour in most of my egg white, and I'll hold a little bit back. And I'm going to stir that and get that all mixed together. And if I need to use the remaining egg white, I will. And I'll just use a little drop more. And then I'm going to form that into 18 balls. And to form it into 18 balls, I'm actually going to weigh mine. And I will need about 28 grams, slightly over, but 28 grams, which is, in fact, exactly 1 ounce, 28.3 grams is what I need. And that looks like this amount, basically. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and form it into a ball like that, and then I'm going to roll that in my icing sugar and put it on the baking tray like that. And I'll do the same with the remainder. So that's my second one, which is 28 grams. And roll that in the sugar as well, the icing sugar this is. Put it on the tray. So there are my 18 walnut cookies rolled out, and then I'm going to take the halves of walnut that I have, and I'm going to press one half into the top of each cookie like that. And then once they're pressed in like that, I'm going to put those into the oven, and I'm going to bake them for 10 to 12 minutes. They'll should puff up a little bit, and then once they've baked for 10 to 12 minutes, I'll take them out of the oven and I'll leave them on the trays for 5 to 10 minutes, just so that they can firm up, because they're going to be very soft. They should be chewy once they've cooled down, but they're going to be very soft. So I'll leave them 5 to 10 minutes until they've firmed up. Then I'll transfer them to a wire rack and allow them to cool down. And once they've cooled down, I'll come back and show you the results. I baked my Italian walnut cookies or biscuits, the Dolci di Noci, for 11 minutes. And then I took them out of the oven and left them on the trays for about 8 minutes. Carefully transferred them to a wire rack, and I've allowed them to cool down. I have already eaten one, but I'll show you what the rest of them look like. Or some of the rest of them. They're there. And they baked up quite nicely, and they're very chewy. They're firm on the outside and they hold together nicely. One of the issues with this sort of thing is that the icing sugar goes everywhere. But I'll have a taste of this one. That is very, very good indeed. Slightly firm exterior, lovely and soft and chewy interior. A lovely walnut flavour, obviously, with that, and the crunch of particularly of that walnut half on the top. So these are very, very easy to make. They don't take very long either. I could quite easily eat 3 or 4 of these, but that's probably not a very good idea. So that's going to be it for this recipe. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give me the thumbs up below and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there'll be an eye that you can click on, and that will take you to a link for the recipe, and I'll put a link below the video as well, and I'll be back with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.